Alright, I think we're just about ready here. As the title says, we're doing Donkey Kong Country Corruptions today. And for those of whom who are unfamiliar with my stream format, I just pulled up our main window here. On the right side we have the real-time corruptor, various windows from that. And on the left side we're eventually going to have our emulation running. What I do is I create a couple corruptions and I explain how I create them, my process for doing so. We'll save a couple of those corruptions onto a stockpile, and at the end of the stream we'll upload that stockpile for anyone who watches the video that would like to play it or re-roll the corruptions. They can feel free to do so. So without further ado, let's go and pause the music here and start up our game. And I'm going to create a save state right at the beginning, and I'll show you why in a moment. Back a couple steps here. I don't think my controller... Oh, it is set up. I can't rewind it, oddly enough. Maybe that's disabled for the time being. Anyway, I have a save state. Reboot form. There's something odd about how this is running. It's not running quite right. Alright. Press save. I'm going to create a save state. That's good enough. SNES sometimes has a little odd quirks here and there, and we may have just run into one. However, we have a save state set up. And now, if I pause the emulation, we're going to start doing something that I like to call prototyping, or checking exactly what sort of corruptions we can apply to this ROM in order to create interesting effects. And we do that through the real-time corruptor window, which is this one right here, this top half. And we have a couple tools and a couple things that are available to us to create our corruptions. Starting off, I'm going to draw attention to this table here with a couple listed memory domains. These are predefined memory domains that are usually existent within the ROM itself. However, these memory domains may not be specifically utilized within this ROM, and I'll show you what I mean once we get started. Anyways, there's a couple automatically selected here. We're just going to unselect some of these. And for the time being, we're just going to corrupt this thing called WRAM. On top of that, we're using the Nightmare engine. And we do have a couple engines available to us, including the Helgini engine, Distortion engine, Freeze, Pipe, and Vector. However, for the time being, we're going to do a very basic corruption with the Nightmare engine. And without further ado, let's real quick just start blasting the ROM. So I'm going to restart and load our save state. And I'm just going to manually start corrupting it here and there a little bit. So I'm hitting the blast button and I'm not noticing anything immediately apparent happening to the ROM. And that's because we're not having a very high intensity corruption that's being sent to memory. We're just doing very low intensity ones. So maybe 1 byte's being written to this fairly large game with the SNES file size. So instead we're going to up our intensity a little bit. We'll bring this up to 300. Now we'll start again, and I'm gonna reset our save state, and just manually blast it once. And after 3 blasts, we'll notice there's a couple things going on the screen. We see a couple things that are being drawn. There's some stuff in the sky. There it actually crashed. I'm unable to control the ROM with background input. Let me reset that. Accepting background input, but I'm unable to rewind, oddly enough. I'm not sure why. It might be SNES just doesn't support that. But that's fine. We only need to rewind very much anyways. So we can load our save state again. And again, we can continue in this fashion where we just sort of manually blast the ROM and get some effects. Like here we get some neat shadows. Now reloading the ROM, it takes a sec. Anyway, so we can see that WRAM, it affects the stuff that's drawn to the screen. It can affect the objects and where they're shifted on the screen. A couple effects like that. We'll mess with some of the other memory domains here. Next we have cart RAM. And I'm hitting manual blast, and yet we're not seeing anything actually happening on screen. So that what tells me is that we actually won't be corrupting that memory domain specifically, because it may not be utilized by the ROM in the way that could be interesting to us. I'll put it kind of simply like that. Anyways, it doesn't have any effect on the ROM, so we won't worry about it. Next we have VRAM, which are the visuals that are drawn to the screen. And if we crop this, we'll notice there's some red bricks going here and there. And VRAM is also not a memory domain we're going to touch too much, only because VRAM doesn't have any mechanical effects on the game. It's only to the visuals that are drawn to the screen. And I usually find that it sort of masks the underneath corruption that we're trying to create. So eventually it just starts looking bad. Kind of like Loud Moment. And you can't see anything underneath, it just becomes a mess. So we'll leave that one alone. Usually VRAM corruptions are useful after the fact, once you create sort of chaotic corruption. Next we have OAM, which is the object files of the game. And as we manually blast this, the objects might be getting corrupted, but we don't see any sort of flicker or any sort of effect on screen. So we can assume that OAM is not being used in the sense that the predefined memory domain is typically used for this. At least like object files such as sprites aren't being stored here, they could be storing them in a different location within the ROM. Next we have CG RAM, which are usually I find on the SNES it's the color palette, so I'm going to blast that once. And we do notice that we get a little bit of visual corruption there. With this being said, I should mention, if you are sensitive to flashing lights or bright sound, bright and flashing lights or loud sounds, I recommend not watching the stream. We do have a lot of flashing lights as we corrupt these games. Some effects that may induce seizures, so I forewarn against that. Anyways, with that being said, we'll flash this a little bit, and we notice that we're mostly just corrupting the sprites in this case, and not actually the background. But as we jump into the game, it could be a different story. APU RAM is the sound chip, and we're going to do a very low intensity for that because it's not a very large sound chip. And we'll see if we can get any interesting effects out of this. A little bit here and there. The instruments are a little bit off. Let me increase the intensity some more. There we go. Instruments aren't quite playing the way they're supposed to. The instrument pitches are changing. Stuff like that. And now System Bus and Cart RAM are the two remaining ones. I'm not sure what these will produce. It could be sort of random. And we'll experiment with those more once we start harvesting our glitches. However, I have laundry in the washing machine that I need to go grab, so I will be right back. I'll leave you with the title screen. I'll be back in like 5 minutes, 4 minutes, somewhere around there. Alright, I am back. And we'll be able to start corrupting here. I apologize if I sound a little tired. I've been talking all day. And I got finals to study for, so it'll be a little bit of a shorter stream, but I definitely want to corrupt a little bit of Donkey Kong Country. First I'm going to play a little bit, though. I want to progress to a certain level. I got a challenge from a viewer to pass a level that he was working on for a little while, and he got stuck at. Cyclists want to get to that first point. It's right after the first boss, so it should only take a couple minutes. So it'll give me a good chance to brush up on the game a little bit. Sorry. Okay, so I noticed I got messages from you, Wasabi, but they didn't go to my Twitch or my chat program. Oh my goodness, roll the footage. But in any case, with the DK yacht. Yeah, that's kind of odd. I don't know why they're not going to my restream app. That must be down for the moment. But thank you for the heads up. I'll try to keep an eye on both. Shoot. Yeah, I'm mad at this so far. Let me try to see if I can fix that. Quick, give me a sec. I logged into both. Wish I restarting restream. Ooh, a little bit of lag. Okay. See if that works. Feel free to send me a test message. A test message if you can, Wasabi. Okay, cool. First level down. Hopefully they're not all of that bad. I know I'm just going to, I guess, the 6th level, or the 7th since we had the boss included. Shoot. I think you roll back. Oh, I don't like those guys. Shoot. Well, I don't think I'm going to progress all the way to that level. I think I'm just going to start corrupting it, just because it might take a little too long. And I'm hoping for a little bit of a shorter stream this evening. I'll give it a couple more tries here, though. Ah, forget about it. I'm going to start corrupting the first level. I don't want to spend too long on that. Okay. So we're going to start messing with WRAM, and we're going to start harvesting the corruptions as well. So I'm going to make a new save state within the Windows Switch Harvester. And we're going to raise the intensity a little bit since we only got one chance to send the corruptions to memory. We're going to bring it up to 300 intensity. Keep the WRAM memory domain selected, and start blasting the ROM with corruptions. You notice the stash history here is populated now. However, so it seems like that corruption actually kicked us out of the level and threw us back at the world view, which is interesting. Nothing happened there. Same there. Let's try increasing the intensity up to 500. Give a background change. It's a bad one. It flicked us off the side. This one's not bad. You can't get a treetop view, which I dig. However, we're still down below. Our character's still playable and movable. Let's try switching from the blast type to... It's currently at random, so every memory address that it selects to replacing it with a random value. Instead, we're going to use tilt values, which those are random memory addresses. We're going to add or decrease value from there. It also means since it's a little more stable, we can increase our intensity up to 2000. And give that a go. Now you bring it back a little bit since we're getting so many black screens there. Bring it down to 1500. Got a banana glitch there in the corner. Interesting enough to throw on the stockpile, but interesting regardless. You know, we may get a little bit luckier with that intro cinematic. Usually when I see corruption is done for Donkey Kong Country, it's not actually in the gameplay aspect of it. Only because this doesn't seem to act too nicely. Oh, this one's not bad. Is this some sort of debug mode, or because I can float? I don't know. Let me Google that real quick. Donkey Kong Country debug mode? Yeah, that is a mode. That's funny. So that's a pre-movement debug mode is a possible action replay memory write that you can do. Action replay. It's a possible value you can set with memory where exactly this happens. You can kind of move around in freeform. Looks like things aren't interactable, but you can get a good idea of the level ahead of time. So that's cool. We got that via corruption. Interesting to say the least. Okay, let's try, since we're not getting too many good results with WRAM, let's give System Bus a try. We're going to try random values, or we can bring the intensity down to 800. There's a nice earthquake effect. Need Donkey Kong effects too, look at that. Got a nice coloration to them. All these are instant death. Fun, our life counter's gone. Oh no, it's not. It only appears when you die. Some more neat shadows here and there in debug mode again. So cool background shadows. You know, we may not harvest any corruptions from this. How's banana horde? What? Oh, that's right, it's gone. Haha, I forgot about that. Again, nice like background one. We're not getting too many mechanical ones. That's what we would have got with WRAM, and we're not getting any with System Bus either. Only visual corruptions. Not too interesting ones either. Let's try the ROM itself, cart ROM. Might be too high of an intensity for it. Got some neat like cycling effects. I dig that. As one that we can throw onto the stockpile, let's throw this on the stockpile. First we're going to sanitize it a little bit. So we're going to open this in our blast editor. And to sort of explain things, in the blast editor we have a lot of information that's being presented to us, but each individual line gives us just a little bit of snippet of information. So this very first one here tells us that it sets a value within the source domain cart-ROM at the source address B33BB in hexadecimal. It writes the value of 82. And each one of these individual memory writes creates the corruption that we're currently looking at. And there are a lot here. There's actually 800 because our intensity is 800 in this case. And a lot of these aren't absolutely necessary. Like say this first one that we're looking at. That's not the first one. This first one we're looking at. If we say disable it and rerun the corruption, notice that the corruption that we're looking for is still kind of doing the same thing. Also, we can't roll, otherwise we crash. That's good to know. but we still have the visual corruption going on. Nothing really changes when we disable that corruption, so what did this one memory write do? And to be honest, we don't actually know. Unless we looked into the memory itself, we figured out what that specific value set, or unless we knew the game like the back of our hand and we checked just this corruption when it did. And since there's 800 of these, we can't go through and manually disable some of these just to find the corruption we're looking for. Instead, we can use randomness on our side in order to slowly cut off the extra fat on this corruption that we don't necessarily need. So we're going to try that here. We disabled half of these memory corruptions, so there's only 400 currently being sent to memory. And even with that 400, we still have the effect we're looking for. So we can actually remove those ones that we disabled, and now the size of our corruption has been decreased to about 400. And we continue in that fashion by once again disabling half of them, seeing if the corruption that we're looking for persists. In this case it doesn't. You notice we're not changing color, and nothing else is happening. So in this case, the half that we disabled actually contained the corruption we're looking for. So instead we want to invert the ones that we disabled. Neo, yeah. Invert the ones we're looking at. And in this case, I believe in this half, exactly, we have the corruption that we're looking for. So we can remove those disabled ones, disable again, and continue along in this fashion until we have just the corruption we're looking for. Also, there's a bit of a music corruption going on there too. We're nearly there. Our blast layer has gone down to 25. Down to 6. And now down to 1. So now we have a single memory rate that creates the sort of visual effect that we're looking for, where Donkey Kong slowly shifts colors as he continues along, and so do other objects like the DK barrel. And what creates this effect is writing to the source address the value 9C. And you may wonder, why 9C specifically? What does this actually create? And we can test around with this value, so currently it's 9C. What happens if we do 90? We get a different effect, we different colors, do we, nothing at all? I don't know. In this case, we actually crash. And since this is 9C, this is kind of a large value, so going through, keep accidentally doing that, going through and changing the parameter value to a whole range of stuff like 0, F, max and min values, any random value you can think of, like 12, 42, or whatever, that can take a long time. And we don't necessarily have the time to test each iteration of this parameter value. What we can do is rely on randomness once again to change that value. So we're going to re-roll this corruption. And now if we open this new one in the blast editor, it's actually still not C. Let me re-roll once more. This new one, you can see the parameter value is now C3. Whereas opposed to before it was 9C. So we're slowly changing that parameter value to different values. Some sprites go nuts. Yeah, my chat program's not working. That's too bad. I have to have a little notification to hear some of this stuff. That's disappointing, Restream. Anyway, so we can check what this value does. In this case, the colors do change in a different way. So in case we like this color more, or if we re-rolled it again and we liked, not that, because it turns all black, but maybe we like these colors more, we can, you know, throw one of these on the stockpile. I personally had, I think, like this one the best. Yeah, I did. So I'm going to throw that on the stockpile. I'll call it color shifting dong. There we go. Now it's on the stockpile. Now if you were to save the stockpile and load it, you could at any point click on that corruption specifically and load it into your stockpile. Cool. Alright, let's start with a fresh one. We're gonna still corrupt cart rum since that's the first actual effect we got. We'll keep the intensity at 800. In this case, I kinda like this. The sprites kinda get messed up only when you walk to the right. Kinda looks like Donkey Kong's body is trying to... Oh, it crashes though, unfortunately. Looks like his body's trying to catch up with him. This one, part of the level's just missing. Kinda looks like some lazy dev work. Ooh. That's some nice coloration. Some good pasta. Part of me wants to save this, and since we haven't had too many interesting effects yet, it would be worth saving. However, you can't really see what's going on underneath all the layers of whatever that stuff is. So unfortunately, I don't want to keep it. I like mechanical corruptions. Most of these have just been visual so far. Hey baby Blue Ford, how you doing? Corrupting Donkey Kong today, which has been going fairly alright. It may be a little bit of a shorter stream. I'm feeling a little sick. I've been talking all day, my voice is scratchy, but hopefully we'll get some interesting effects out of this. Some shifted bananas on the screen. Try upping our intensity a little bit. We haven't been crashing as often. Bring it up to 1000. I need to fix it though. We'll bring it down to... I did 10,000. Let's do 1,000. In this case, Donkey Kong can't move, he just kinda sits there. Controls are disabled. Visible enemies. Oh, Smitic Crush there. You know, I kinda want to keep that one. That's neat. Studying a bit? God, I should be studying too. I got final in 2 days and then 3 days. 2 days? Is that right? Yeah, I got one Wednesday, Thursday. I should be studying for those, but I felt like corrupting, so here I am. I know that grind for sure. Alright, so we're trying to open this in the blast editor and try to preserve the corruption. We noticed when we pick up the bananas, it didn't do the sort of 50 banana effect, so I'm going to invert the disabled one and try it again. In which case, this time it does. So I'm going to remove the disabled ones, and we'll continue along in this fashion. Okay, we're nearly there. Okay, first we have a single memory write that creates this effect. Writing E5 to the source address 38BD1A creates this sort of infinite banana effect in place. I guess, is it any of these? I don't know, just kinda, I think every time we pick up one, it spawns more or something like that. Anyways, infinite bananas. So we can send that to the stash, and we can throw it on the stockpile. I'll call it something like... Oh, I always spelled bananas wrong. I forget if it's 2 N's or E's. Oh, it's neither. Okay, great. Bowling bananas. B-A-N-A-S. accepting background inputs. Every once in a while, you hit enter and it makes the screen go full screen. Anyways, let's try rerolling that corruption and see if we get a different effect out of it. I don't expect we will, but always try. And yeah, more of the same effect. I think we can start fresh from here. That's how we don't get anything. Let's blast and send a new corruption. Super slow-mo. Oh, that's a messed up looking one. Okay, let's advance the level. So, complete this level real quick. Hopefully we have to do it on a fresh save state. Oh, that's where we want to be. Oh, shoot. Alright. Up here. Have a life. So let's go here and make another save state. I'm hoping maybe we can affect brain or something like that. Still gonna affect cart realm. That's the only one that we've had interesting effects so far. Surprisingly, not that much. Let's try doing full type with 5,000 intensity. Be too high. We can knock it down to 3,000. Good luck with that either. 2,000. Okay, that runs a little bit better. Hopefully. See if it's consistent though. Doesn't look like it is. Alright, back down to 1,000. Still not impressed with the results. Let's try corrupting WRAM as well. We'll keep the intensity at 1,000, and it'll just mix the two memory pools together. Let's also try switching engine types instead. Let's switch to the Hell Genie engine, which is limited by the amount of max cheats. We're going to increase the max cheats to 100. The way Hell Genie engine works is it's a cheat engine underneath the hood, which every iteration step will force a value to keep its random value. I guess this is random in this case. Value, maximum value. I always think keep it value. It will force a value to keep its value every iteration step, even if that value were to change. It's kind of a cool looking one. I almost want to keep this. Again, though, it's not, like, while it's visually interesting, it's not anything outside of that. Like, this is kind of awful to look at. So let's keep moving along. Okay, I'm not noticing any progress. Try increasing the amount of max cheats. We'll do 250. It's kind of a lot, but it's SNES, so it's not too intensive a ROM. I think my processor should be able to handle it. Got some neat looking ground effects. Sprites are cycling a little bit, but not in an interesting way. It looks like grass is raining. This just kind of looks like clown vomit, so I wouldn't want to keep this either. Also throw the system bus into this mix of corruptions. We'll keep the max cheats at 250 though. Ooh, I kind of like how the lightning creates color almost. Okay, let's keep that one just to have something visually interesting on the stockpile. Okay, great. So down the stockpile, and I'll call it Lightning Brings Color. And let's try rerolling that corruption. That's where I unpause it. Oh, it's not pause. Huh. There we go. Now we're getting mostly all the same effect. So we can try moving forward now. Alright, swap back to the Nightmare engine. And we're just go back to random type. Seems 2000 is a bit too high. We'll bring it back down to 1400. No, not even that. That's too high. Alright, we'll keep it at 1000. And I'd like to move forward. Let's move forward another level. So I'll lower our save state, and move forward a little bit. Let's corrupt here a little bit. So, actually corrupt this exact scene. I'm gonna make a save state here and continue a little bit. So let's corrupt this scene a little bit. I think our memory domains are okay. We'll keep all those the same. You thought this was a 64-bit, eh? Are we corrupting what he's saying? Their default save state says this. Okay. That is the default. Let's corrupt the palette a little bit. That's better. Let's do a little... I don't mind that. Let's do a little less intensity. 100. Get a nice looking corruption out of this. I think I actually like our initial one the best. This one. Even though it just looks terrible, we'll call this a visual corruption. We'll call it Cranky Scamming. I don't know if that's how you spell Cranky, I don't think so. Alright, let's continue along. Okay, this part. Let's make another save state. Save, load. Good to go. We're gonna corrupt the music in this one, because I love this specific water level. Even without seeing the visuals, you can just tell this is a water level, it sounds beautiful. We're gonna corrupt the music. I think we can keep a low intensity. I'll bring it up to, like, say 80. Oh, we didn't catch it at the very beginning, unfortunately. It does repeat though, so I think that should be alright. That sounds kind of nice. Continue along though. I almost want to keep that. It sounds like Fred. A little too intense. Let's keep this one. There we go. Alright, I called this one Audio Anxiety. That's what this gives me. Let's continue. Also kind of sounds bad. Okay, we're going to try tilt values now instead of random values. Values can produce a little bit of safer corruption, so let's see with 200 how it does. Maybe not. Yep, maybe a lower intensity, 150. Pretty. About 80. I still want the audio to be there, I just don't want it to crash instantly like that. Let's do some CG ramp corruptions along with this. I think we can get some nice visuals out of it too. Got up our intensity, I believe. I like the green sort of effect though. It's almost radioactive. Can be a nice addition. That I like. I wanted to wait for the tone going down like that. Okay, let's call this one an audio corruption. Oh, I did it again. Shoot. There we go. Did crash though. We haven't been sanitizing these. We should sanitize them. Let me sanitize this most recent one. Oh, but the problem with that though is we have two things going on. We have visual corruptions and auditory ones. So sanitizing these can be a heartache and a half. I don't think we're going to. Okay, I like that one a lot. And also, I want to hear Anxiety a little bit longer. Okay, I like that one. It does give me some anxiety. Don't like that. I think we may have exhausted a little bit of the music possibilities. Let's try... Also, I'm curious. OEM, any effects? No effects at all. Alright. Cut RAM. Still no effects on cart RAM. Or ROM. We'll try cart ROM and WRAM. It's not like something out of Resident Evil? I guess so. Resident Evil soundtracks, they're all fantastic. Which one was that? That was probably the Anxiety one. This one. Oh no, it's the original one. The Dread one. Not that one. Yeah. Very nice sound to it. Oh, I instantly like this one a lot. It's no longer a water level. At least for Diddy it isn't. Let's do that in the last center. He takes off his hat and scratches his head like he's the one out of place. Or that we don't understand why he's standing. Maybe he says lead shoes. I don't think you can get actually very far in this form because you immediately have to go upwards, but let's give it a try. Send that to the stash, we'll throw it on the stockpile and call it Diddy's Lead Shoes. Oh, I did it again. Okay. Load that. That's right, and you can't jump on the enemies because they're not actually there. Or they're not, what would you call it? You can't stomp on their heads. Anyway, you get to the point where... Oh, and I can't control... the dog, alright. Let's try re-rolling. I think it's all probably gonna be the same diff, either swim or no swim. Can I clip through the wall there, actually? Oh, I thought you could. Nah, anyway. Start fresh. Lots and lots of crashes. Let's try 800. Some neat corruptions there, some pretty atmospheres. I think we're ready to move on. Let's try beating this level and go into the next mechanic. We can make a safe state here, right? Oh. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Let's select the safe state. I don't want to do that. Fly out of there. And let's do... Hold on. This is very similar to the first level, so we won't corrupt this one too much. We'll just continue along. Shoot. Oh, just barely. I don't really want to mess with the barrel mechanics either to corrupt those. Alright, first boss, we'll do a little corrupting at the first boss. Save. Load. Good, we're saved. Alright, let's do some system bus corruptions. Not too interesting other than like a colorful dome. So let's try refreshing there. Let's put these system bus corruptions. Let's try RAM and WRAM instead. We are using tilt type, so we could try switching to random once again for blast type. I want to give that a go actually. We're gonna go back to system bus and do random type. And since there isn't too many things going on the screen, like the background static, most of the foreground static, unless we actually move, I think we might not get too many corruptions out of this. What I think we might be able to corrupt is the objects themselves. Of course, we can do some music corruptions or palette corruptions, like these two, but I think that's about the extent of the corruptions we have available to us. Looks like a garbage dump, actually. It's almost fitting. We do have too high of intensity for the music card. That's why we're getting all these delicious music corruptions. Let's just do CG RAM for a while. Just the visuals. None of these are catching my eye yet. Enough to create a hybrid corruption out of them. Yeah, I think I'll leave this be. Let's go and beat the boss fight by loading our fresh save state. Hope using save states to save lives. Chiquita banana? No, Nintendo banana. Okay, and I had a Discord friend that recommended I play up to this point. He got stuck on the minecart level, which I'm just about to do. Let me send him a message just to notify him. Oh, if Discord would not forever load. Oh, that's some nice pause music. Okay, I am ready to go. Oh, I actually forgot to make a save state. Shoot. Well, we'll do it without Diddy now. We'll make a save state right here. I don't think we have any corruptions enabled, do we? Kinda sounds like we do. Let's corrupt this a little bit actually, so I'm gonna load save state. See what we can do with this. So WRAM. Nice solid sneak aesthetic. And not too much aside from that, so let's try now cart RAM. Cart RAM we know doesn't do anything, so we won't mess with that. Nothing I'm seeing from cart RAM. And lastly, just system bus. I don't want to mess with the music or the... You mess with the graphics a little bit in a sec. If this was writable, that would have been amazing. It's not, unfortunately. Just have a friendly shark there. Okay, so nothing I'm seeing. I'm gonna make a save state when I get in the cart though. So we'll start that. Oh no! Shoot. That's what I get. Shoot. Well, I created a save state here, just because I don't want to keep going through this. I will do it for the minecart, I swear. Oh. Well, not as easy as it looks, that's for sure. And we're not even at the card yet. We have the minecart, which is coming up next. Save state again, and join. Okay, I wasn't ready for that. Alright, we have the save state button ready. Save. Okay, let's do some minecart reference. We're gonna do System Bus. We'll look on system bus to try tilt types. Could decrease or increase the intensity, but I'm purposely not doing that to conserve time. Was this one in debug mode? It looked like it was. Yeah, but debug mode doesn't really work for this, does it? Huh. Oh yeah, I guess it does, because he can't grab anything. Yeah. Alright. Last sound. Okay, not too much luck with tilt type either. Switch to WRAM. It's a pretty looking graphic. And you can almost see stuff still, so yeah, it's almost keepable. A salt mine aesthetic. I'm actually doing pretty well on this too. Without being able to see anything. See anything else on VRAM? Try part ROM now. It's kind of nice. It looks like it shifts everything a little bit. Huh. Alright, I'm not seeing anything else. I think we should run to the end of this level and see how we do. Oh, one last one I wanted to try though. Let's do some CG round ones. Let's see what the visuals look like when we corrupt them. Yep. That's what I thought they'd look like. Kinda pretty. In its weird, corrupted way. Reminds me of like a... The church had like a train ride in it for some reason. Like, these things look like, you know, cathedral columns. That's what it kind of reminds me of in a weird way. Anyway, let's play it. It's normal. Load it. And beat this level. Ooh, that's a tough jump. Yeah, right at the end there. I think I can use the power of corruptions to help aid me here. I think visual corruption actually help out. My simplest Minecraft skeleton farm done. Mostly I looked the redstone later. And surprisingly, it wasn't as bad as I thought. It took about 1 or 2 hours. That's not bad. Congrats on getting it finished. I know those farms are especially fun. And you get skeleton one, which is pretty cool. Plenty of bones, feathers, and the what-like. I will re-corrupt the color palette every time I lose. That is my goal. I couldn't tell what those things were. Kill the music? The music's still on. Quick! Real quick. You must have like, yeah, sure, I think I have Nightbot disabled, so yeah, feel free. Feel free to check out Baby Blue Ford's... Is it your Minecraft server? Yeah, feel free. I don't have Minecraft currently installed on this machine, but that'd be cool to check out. Oof. Shoot. May not look like much, but it works. That sounds like a lot of what I do. It may not look like much, but it works. But there's nothing wrong with a little bit of simplicity or realism. Nothing wrong with it at all. That's what I get for not paying attention. Look for like a nice sharp contrast between the background and the foreground. That'll help me out. Ooh, getting tricky with those guys. Alright, alright. We're getting closer. I like this. Got a nice teal and red with it. Shoot, I spoke too soon. Oh no! I hit the jump button too late. Shoot, I was doing so well on that one. Okay, got a nice purple look to it. I'm determined to beat this. I gave my word that I would. Although I said I'd do it on the first try. A little too cocky, but... Oof. Second too early on the jump. It was coming up. It's a little too early. Oh, this is like awful looking. It's all green mixed together. Ugh. I also realize I'm missing a checkpoint every time I reload the save state. I don't want to go back to 4 lives, so... Shoot. Alright. Take it off. No. Shoot. Setting up Taz or something? No, I'm not setting up Taz. Right now I'm just corrupting it in real time. I'm actually just really bad at the level, in actuality. I had a small challenge to beat this by a fellow Discord buddy, so... I'm just going on that route at the moment. I wish I was setting up something as cool as Taz, though. Shoot. Remember this level? If you had an estimate of how many times you failed at this level, could you put a number to it? A one jump? Which one? There's so many. Well, I think I know what you're talking about. The really steep one. At least 2 of them. There's a couple up there for sure. That one keeps getting me. Slope off and I get thrown off. I don't know if you can put a number to it. That's fair. Enough. You've paid your dues. I've actually never beat this level. I'm pretty sure I got past this, but I may have given the controller to someone else so they could do this part for me. And they're a saint for doing so, because I would never have had the patience for this as, when I was younger. Just barely. Now I'm just corrupting the color palette every time I fail. It's pretty close, Dang it, I passed that one that time. That's a pretty close jump on that last one. I get the timing just right. And then that one. It gets progressively worse the more you continue. And then you get the enemies running at you. Only with a very quick response time. Alright. Take it off. I forgot to reacting time. Let me increase the intensity for the color palette corruptions. We'll bring it up to 2000 there. A little more vivid, a little more dreamlike. If your dreams are all nightmares. Like mine. Oh, that is hard to see. That is very blendy. Shoot. I'm getting to a point where I just gotta... I kind of feel the obstacles. I don't know where they are. Can't rely on visuals so much anymore. Will it blend? That is a very good question. How much will it blend? Yes, it did. Too well, in fact. Oh, that's just camel color. It's too much. The music kind of drops right there, like it knows I'm gonna fail. And it's so correct. So I think I gotta wait until I'm actually on the edge of the rail in order to jump, because a little hard to see because you wouldn't think you could actually ride on that part, but I think it's timing-wise I gotta wait till that moment. I can't level off, because it looks like leveling off there actually throws me off. Or kicks me off the edge without the ability to jump. Shoot. I had the magical power of save states on my side. I could only begin to imagine if you actually had to deal with lives. Because I don't know how many times I've done this already. It has to be 20, 30 times. Doing it without lives? Oh my god. I don't envy anyone who had to do that. Ooh, that's a tricky one too. You gotta jump late. Throw all kinds of stuff at you. Alright, that's the furthest we've made it so far. Hopefully we can keep up with that. Arrested for the bananas. Joke incoming. We put a crown on DK to make him King Kong. Or like King Dong. But yes, he would sadly be King Kong. Never give that man a crown. Shoot. You excited for Smash, Baby Ford? I can't wait for it. Just barely. If I could rewind, this would be done already. But unfortunately, my emulator does not allow for that. Otherwise, it would be definitely done. Yes, you're hyped. I'll probably get Mario Party first, though. Oh, really? Since I can play with family more casually and easily. That makes sense. It's a nice family game. They've done a lot better at that, and it's a lot, I guess, in a sense, fair. Or at least it's a lot funner. Like the mini games, they're usually more exclusive, where a lot more players can play. So, definitely a fun family game. Falls for the hardcore family scene. I got too jumpy. They get smashed a little more late. I'll get smashed later. Gotcha. It's too bad the price won't go down. Nintendo never budgets on those prices. Ooh. Had a really jump late on that one, too. I lost to that one last time, too. Right. Getting closer, getting closer. It's gotta be more conservative. Of our calm. Studying for finals tonight? What? 11:30? Nah. Put that tomorrow. Gotta beat this level first. shoot. I don't want to lose one there. Oh. Right. We gotta be very cautious. Shouldn't fail that. That's weak. That's a weak jump. Oh, jumped me straight onto the second one. Shoot. Alright, we upped the intensity. Up to 6,000. Alright, a little further. Fell to one I shouldn't have. It was that late jump again, but it was I had a backup Pong. But it didn't get me far enough. That's a weak jump. Can't fail to those weak jumps. Too early. I should have the checkpoint. I should be loading that checkpoint. You know what? Just to mimic a checkpoint. Let's run to that checkpoint. Just to mimic one. But each run will be a little bit shorter. Oops, didn't do that right. Keep glancing at the save state, which is throwing me off. Alright, put a save state here, just so we have one outside of it. And no save state. Okay, great. I am very determined. I just want to copy a save state so I don't have to worry about doing that part over and over again. There we go. Well, because I got challenged to do this by Wasabi Tonic, so even though I very cockily said I could do it in my first try, I will do it in my at least 100th try. Shoot. Just off the edge, alright. Shoot, MSD killing. I'm throwing off my groovies. I don't do that intro part anymore. Shoot. I prepare for that late jump. I was thinking about it, but I didn't think it was gonna be right there. Shoot. Quite right. Then printed in my memory. Alright, a little bit further. In there. Ah, I should have seen that one coming. Too early. Alright. That one. I think I should change my title to doing that one cart level from Donkey Kong Country until the end of the stream. I like that jump. I don't like that jump very much. Or we have to jump a little late. Ooh, just on the edge. That one was very understandable. As you're getting too tired, I'm not having a good time seeing some of these carts on the track. Oh, that little bit of music. Whew. Save state. Stream marker. Okay, now I have proof. Even though it took me, I can't even count this, but this is the stash history. Each one of these was a corrupted color palette. That was a lot of tries. I wish I had... let's see. Let's stash on select. I'll have to go through and count all these. I don't think I can do that. Yeah, won't be able to do that very easily. Anyways, quite a lot. There's a lot of tries on that. I can't imagine doing that with lives. But hey, we have a stockpile that I'm going to save. A very small stockpile that I'm going to call Donkey Kong with a K, country stockpile. And I'm going to hit save. So that is saved. Let's pull some music up. I already have Pokemon Emerald here, so I'm just going to continue that here. Let's do a new song now. Let's do... this theme. Oh, it's still playing. Okay, there we go. I'm just happy I beat that. I didn't know how long I was actually going to be going at that for. I thought it was going to be maybe a whole nother hour. So that was Donkey Kong Country Corruptions. We didn't get too many actual corruptions out of it. What we mostly got was a couple visuals here and there, not too many mechanical ones, which I'm a little disappointed about. I usually prefer the mechanical ones. We got 2 nice music corruptions, which I dig. And those are all in the stockpile, and they'll be available for download. Maybe a day or so, as soon as I get around to uploading them and putting them on the YouTube videos. Yeah, let me pull up Retro. Let's see about hosting someone. Oh, now I have anxiety as I choose someone to host. What? This is just a basic original soundtrack. Skip ahead. How about Center? See, that's beautiful. And I also got someone to host here, so we are all ready to move on. Thank you for everyone who was able to stop by, and thank you for people who were able to talk in the chat for a little bit there. I always appreciate you guys stopping by. And yeah, we'll be corrupting again tomorrow. I'll find out something corrupt. I'm moving around with ideas. I'm trying to move away from DS corruptions and GameCube Wii corruptions, because I enjoyed them too much. And I want to be able to create stockpiles regularly. Which I can't do with GameCube and Wii. I haven't been doing so much of that. So I should prioritize those. And I need to train using the Vine Sauce ROM Corruptor for Nintendo DS a little bit more, because I don't have that quite down yet. So I'm trying to do less streams until I have that nailed down. But yeah. Have a good evening, everyone. Thanks again. And I'll see you in the next one.